If you are looking something that can face tank the most of the endgame without high investment at the start of the league, you are in the right place. What's up guys, Pidgeot here. Let's start with the skill itself. Spark is a fast moving projectile that can collide with the terrain. Because of that, our clear highly depends on the projectile speed and the projectile duration. If you have high projectile speed, you can kill enemies off screen and shotgunning the bosses near the walls. Because of that, the real DPS is hard to calculate. In the path of building, you will see our DPS multiplied by 3, because we can safely tell a projectile can hit the same enemy 3 times before the projectile disappears. Before, you say not all bosses standing near the walls, that's right, but the most of the endgame bosses like Maven, Elder, Uber Elder, Eater of Words and even the Maven Invitation, all of them are inside a little arena where we can abuse this mechanic. Even with basic starter gear, we can almost reach 100% critical chance, so we don't have to worry about the elemental resistance mod on bosses, and while mapping, we almost curse immune because the concentrated ground from the Ascendary is reducing the curse effectiveness, so we can do any mob with curse mod on them. The build shines when we fighting Agnes bosses. We can easily do the harder Invitation, Elder and the Mave because we are so tanky and we have really high sustained DPS. In this clip you can see the shotgunning in practice, and even the bosses is helping us standing near a wall while we can tank almost everything they throw at us. But don't forget the golden rule.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Map mods we are afraid of: Elemental Reflect because we deal massive amount of elemental damage. No regen because it's disabled the life, energy shield and the mana regen, and maybe the less recovery rate is a little problem for us, but doable. Just need to be careful with our life and the mana. Lastly, we need to watch out for the Fizz Reflect because we're using Tornado. Yes, you heard right, Tornado as a secondary source of damage, because this spell is fully physical, so when you're doing Fizz Reflect mobs, don't use it. Lastly, I need to mention what is the main problem with Spark. If you are facing a wall, standing near a door, or a narrow walk side, or projectiles will disappear. I don't know why, but my guessing is because the animation of the spark. Sometimes you will die because you can't react in time and your enemies will destroy you. Wintertide brand Occultist. This is my favorite build of all time. Really satisfying to play this build. Last league I started with this and it was really smooth and easy to reach high tier maps on the first day of the league. And the best thing about this build, you can play this from the start. Okay, you need to reach level 20, but then you can start destroying the game. The skill itself is really simple. You just casting your brand and it will start deal overtime damage. And if a target dies while your brand is active, it will jump to another enemies. This is like Essence Drain plus Contagion with one button. As you can see, the clear is really fast and satisfying and safe. Let's talk about the build defensive layers. We're using Grace Aura, which is granting us evasion rating, so we can completely nullify the enemy attacks. Only danger for us is the spell damage, but we have enough life plus energy shield to tank the hits till the enemies die. Because we have high evasion rating, we can use the Ghost Dance Keystone. When we take a hit, we will recover 3% of our evasion rating as energy shield. We have around 16k evasion rating, so we will recover back 480 energy shield, and we can do this 3 times in a row before the stacks recharge. To abuse this mechanic, we need a specific body armor craft, which is easy to get in the first day of the league. The mod we're looking for is maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. We also chill and freeze immune thanks to our Ascendary, so we don't have to worry about the flash crafts. We have a really high chill effect from our Skitterbots and Vortex, which is binded to our left leg, so we don't have to worry about the multiple button playstyle. This is a very chill build, no pun intended. The build is very tanky without currency investment, so it's really ideal to start with this build. But let's talk about the damage. First, This is a damage over time build, so you will not insta-face bosses, but it's really satisfying to see the boss health going down. Using two curses to boost our damage, namely Frostbite and Elemental Weakness, and we applying with these two Bane, so we don't have to press two extra buttons, just one. Bone Chain support in our Vortex link for extra call damage. As I mentioned earlier, we're using two skills in the build, Wintertide brand and our secondary source of damage, Vortex. With these two combinations, we can easily deal with the early, mid and late game. Yes, you heard right, you can scale this build to the endgame easily. In the description, you will find two paths of building, one with the early game gear and tree and links, and one with the end game gear and tree. First of all, I would like if you hit the like button like the shaper hitting the adder, so it can start spread to more people. Thank you! Last league, I made a Wave of Conviction character, which was focusing on the ignite damage, and the results was amazing. So I asked myself, why not use as a league starter? The mapping is so satisfying. For clear, we're using purely Wave of Conviction. Because our main damage is ignite, we can use Ignite Prolife Super Gem. This will help us with the clear, which is already really good, but with these two combinations, it will be godlike. It's so satisfying to watch the ignite in work. For bigger enemies, we're using Flame Wall for extra damage. On the defensive side, we're using Determination for the physical damage reduction. Because of that, we will use Molten Shell as our Garsk. We can use the Bastion of Elements, which will grant us an Elemental Barrier, up to 3k Elemental Shield. This is only an optional thing. You can make a decision about that. You want more damage or more tankiness, it's up to you. But either way, we can't face tank the bosses, but we can make a few mistakes before we die. On the offensive side, we're using a few interesting things. First, using Flame Wall for extra damage. This is our secondary source of damage. It will help with the signal target damage. Heart of Distraction from the Elementalist Ascendary, which will granting us 30% more elemental damage when we hitting a unique enemy. On regular mapping, it will only help us with the clear, because when the extra damage is not active, it will give us 60% increased area effect. An interesting interaction with this. It will increase the Ignite Prolife area effect by 60% when we don't fighting versus bosses. This is why I said the Ignite Prolife is so satisfying, because it's huge. I hope that's what she said. Lastly, we're using two curses, namely Flammability and Elemental Weakness. We can apply two different curses because we take the extra curse node on the tree. The damage is really good for a damage over time character. You will not insta-face bosses, but it gets the job done without issues. My only concern about the build is the Elemental Overload Keystone. Little bit annoying to proc it since they made a few changes about the keystone. The change was you need the critical strike with the skill you use to benefit the 30% more elemental damage. So we have to use Ice Golem for increased critical chance for our Wave of Conviction. If you have any question, please let me know under the video. Have a wonderful league start, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.